Hey guys, Forex here, hope you're all well. What you're looking at in front of you is a 40 Dreamcast. This Dreamcast actually belongs to a friend, and this is his backup unit. What I mean by that is he has a first unit that he uses all the time, and then this one's just in case his first unit breaks down. But funny enough, his backup unit's broke down. Now, I'm 90% sure I know what the problem is with this Dreamcast. So what I'm just going to go through in a minute is just do some checks. So if you give me 5 minutes to set up, I'm going to crack on and fix this Dreamcast. Okay, I have the Dreamcast all hooked up, ready to go. Now what he told me, he says the controller's unresponsive, and yeah, I pretty much confirmed that. I'm going to show you that now. So if I power on, let the Dreamcast boot, I can show you what the problem is. Now it wants us to set the time and date, so we'd normally use our controller to do that. As you can see, the controller's plugged in. The problem is, the controller's unresponsive. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swap port, just to test, see it's not the port, and as you can see, still nothing. What I'm going to do now is get another controller and just test that as well. Okay, I've gone and got another controller. As you can see, this one's got a memory device in it. Let's see if this controller works. No, dead as a door now. Same again, swap ports. This controller is actually my controller. The one I used before was his. I just wanted to rule out that it wasn't his controller, and as you can see, it's not. It's the console that's at fault. So what I'm going to do now is whip the lid off this Dreamcast and show you what the problem is. Okay, I have the lid off the Dreamcast. What I'm going to do is just turn it a little bit so you can see the component better. Here's the controller port, and the component we're going to need to look at is this component here. Now it looks remarkably like a resistor. It's actually a fuse, and what that does is that's the main power rail that goes to the controller ports that powers your controller ports. So if that fuse blows, you lose power to your controller ports, and this is what happens. You get totally unresponsive controllers. So what I'm going to do now is take the power board out. I'm going to whip this board out. I'm going to take that fuse out, and I'm going to test it for continuity. But I pretty much know it's gone already, so that's why I'm taking everything apart. So yeah, give me 5 minutes and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I have the controller PCB out. What I've done to the fuse is just added a little bit of fresh solder, so I can come along and do this. And that should get that faulty fuse out. Okay guys, I have the faulty fuse out. I have my multimeter on continuity. That means if I touch my probes together, I get a beep. Now if this is an open fuse, when I touch the probes on each lead, it won't beep. If it's a perfectly fine fuse, it will beep, and then I've got to look elsewhere for a problem. But what I'm going to do now is just make sure, yeah, and then come on. Dead as a door now. So that's an open fuse, guys. So it's the fuse that's blown. So I've got to replace that. Okay, what you're looking at in front of you is a spare controller port I had for the Dreamcast. Now, this is perfectly working. I could just throw this into the Dreamcast that's faulty and it would work perfectly fine. But what I want to do is show you replacing the fuse. So what I'm going to do now is, like I did before, is suck this fuse off, insert your own jokes. And that fuse should now just pop straight off. Okay guys, it's a good job I left the ribbon on the spares board, because for a second there I forgot which one I was working on. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to test this fuse with my multimeter for continuity, and hopefully this one's fine and should beep. Okay, I have the fuse out. I have my multimeter on continuity. Put my probe together, you can hear that beep hopefully. Now let's test this new fuse, well, new old fuse. Yes, we have a winner. So yeah, I'm going to pop that into the board and put the Dreamcast back together, and hopefully that should fix it. Okay, new old fuse is soldered back in. Let's get this in the Dreamcast and give it a test. Okay, as you can see, I have the Dreamcast all bolted back together. The only thing I haven't done is I've left the lid off just in case I need to get in there real quick. Now what I have is a controller with a memory unit in there. Now when you power the Dreamcast on with a memory unit in there, the memory unit beeps just to let you know it's in there. Now if it wasn't working or there's no power going to the controller, you won't get that beep. So I'll pretty much know straight away when I turn this on if this system is working properly, because the controller unit should beep. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to power on and hope we get a beep, and we do. And what I'm going to do is move up so you can see the controller and the Dreamcast, and as you can see I've got a memory unit on the controller. And let's see if we can change the time and date, and we can. So yeah, this one's a good one guys, this one's fixed, and it was all down to that pesky little fuse just there. So what I'm going to do now is get the lid back on this and we can give this a proper test. Okay guys, I have the Dreamcast all bolted back together. I have a backup version of House of the Dead 2. Yes, this is one of those Dreamcasts that can boot backup games. What I'm going to do is just show you that the Dreamcast doesn't ask for time and date anymore, because I've already gone ahead and changed that. As you can see, what I'm going to do now is close the lid and get the game to boot. You can already see the controller's working. Move the controller there and press start and boot. Hello. Let's start. And as you can see, we've got a nice little House of the Dead 2 logo on the controller. And the console's working perfectly fine. So yeah, that's all it was guys, that little fuse that was responsible for killing the controllers. So yeah, I hope you like this video guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, before I go guys, I just want to show you my Dreamcast. Now this Dreamcast is different to other Dreamcasts for two reasons. The first is it has the UniBIOS fitted into it, so it will pretty much boot any game from anywhere in the world. It doesn't care, it will just boot. Also, it's had its region changed from European PAL to NTSC American. Now what I'm going to do is power this on and you'll see a totally different boot. That's because it's using the UniBIOS. You'll also see a orange swirl which indicates a US region console as well. So what I'm going to do now is power on. And yeah, that's what a Unibios Dreamcast boot's like. And you can also tell I'm in NTSC because it's flickering.